Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Before I get started here, I want to let everybody know I'll be doing a live here in a couple of hours, feeding the homeless, as I do every Sunday. Going to be a blessed day. We're going to feed about 50 people. First and foremost, though, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to do this, feed these homeless people each and every weekend, and giving me the opportunity to get on here on this channel and try to show y'all what the truth is out there as far as news and things goes. Just thankful to God that I've been put in this position to be able to do what I feel is the right thing. All right, folks, let's get into it. It is a Backfire Sunday. We're talking about Epstein files blowing up in their face, more people implicated, no Republicans this time, just a bunch of Democrats that are trying to protect the Epstein files, been working with Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein to try to get Trump, and all that stuff is starting to come out. It looks like the Democrats are more in bed with the Epstein situation than anybody could ever imagine, until these emails came out over the last couple of days, which was an attempted hit job on Trump because they all looked stupid behind the shutdown after they got nothing in the shutdown. So to change the story to go into distraction mode, they brought up the Epstein emails thinking it was going to get Trump. Little did they know, there's nothing in the Epstein files that implicates Trump, because if there was, they would have used it against him years ago, and that's just a fact. Common sense says that by now. Now, folks, we have got lots to get into. We got Eric Swallwell, we got Jamie Raskin, we got Democrat Representative Plaskett, all on the hot seat for so many things. So many things. We got Democrats that are fixing to go to jail, folks. That's what I have to believe at this point. We're fixing to have indictments flying. 2025 is about over, but when 2026 starts, I think the subpoenas will be going out like crazy. I heard about 30 subpoenas in the Southern District of New York. I've heard about 139 subpoenas going out in New York. It's happening, folks. Slowly but surely, it is starting to happen. And Trump said he wants to investigate these people, all these Democrats involved in this Epstein situation. Not only does he not just want to, he wanted to get the truth out there originally. I think a lot of the deep state tried to stop Pam Bondi and FBI leader Kash Patel from getting the truth out there, tried to hide stuff, tried to destroy stuff. Been doing it for years. But now we're at a point where Trump is tired of this stuff being in the cycle. Let's go and get the truth out. Let's find out who all was involved. Let's go ahead and tell this story, no matter who it hurts. And I think on that note alone, the Democrats are terrified. Terrified, folks. That's what I have to believe at this point. Now, we've got a screen here that is spooling, so just give me just a second, folks. I am having a slow internet day, I'm guessing. Everybody's probably here on... Let me back this up, see if I can jump out of here and jump back in, because this thing is just a spooling. Alright, bear with me, folks. We're going to make this work one way or another. I know what to do. How about we just jump over onto another video and come back to it. If I can get my Twitter to work. Alright, I'm going to pause this thing for just a second, folks, just to find out what the heck is going on with my internet. This video right here tells you how terrified the Democrats are of what's coming. Not only is their messaging wrong, they've been proven a liar each and every day. They've got Scott Jennings over there on their channel as the only conservative, doing the rebuttals of all the lies they're spilling. And it looks like at this point, the Democrats are finally starting to admit some things, like the Russian collusion hoax was a hoax. And I think more than that, they're also worried about getting sued by Trump, because Trump is now on the warpath when it comes to suing these left-wing pundits and think it's okay to lie for a living about people like Trump. So CNN is petrified. Check this out.
Dean, that mentioned the president, and we do want to be clear, the president, Trump, did not receive or send any of the messages, which largely predated his time as president. He's not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing in connection with Epstein or Maxwell. The White House, Dean, that mentioned the president, and we do want to be clear, the president, Trump, did not receive or send any of the messages, which largely predated his time as president. He's not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing in connection with Epstein or Maxwell.
I just thought I'd play that twice for you folks. What CNN is saying is, we've lied about Epstein and Trump, the whole entire time we've covered for Epstein, we blame Trump, and now we don't want to be held liable, so we're saying we don't have any evidence to say that Trump did anything wrong, so we want to be exonerated of all the lies we've been spilling, because finally we're telling the truth. I smell fear there, folks. Are they worried about getting sued? Or are they worried they're going to be implicated in this whole criminal probe to get everybody that was involved in the Epstein files, including these Democrats in the House? And Democrats on the Oversight Committee working against Trump with the Epstein files, trying to get Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein to just say something bad about Trump. Just say one thing bad about him and we got him. That was the plan, folks. Didn't work out that well for him at this point, but I'm glad to see it all is going down as planned. Trump planned for the stuff to come out in due time. Now it's coming out, but it's not coming out the way the Democrats wanted it to. It's coming out like a carrot in the end of a shotgun. Backfire, no doubt about it. Says, this here is a breaking news story that has happened as of earlier today, and this is some crazy stuff. Let's check it out. Says this is a woman that text messaged back and forth with Epstein during the hearing to get Trump. Not a typo. This actually happened. Remember when Plaskett freaked out when she threw documents at Mike Johnson? Check it out. And she is the guilty one. This lady right there.
Seek unanimous consent to enter into the record a letter dated January 12, 2021 by Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry, where he decries all political violence and calls for an end to that and asks for respect for all political viewpoints.
Without objection.
Another thing we can examine because he's not here. Very good.
No, you can
Thank
examine
you.
it. It's a document. He's going to
examine him for what he wrote and the intent behind what he said.
Well, I would
But,
just
okay,
I would
go
just
on.
point out that that's unanimous consents are for documents, and we got the document
Mr.
right here.
Chairman,
that he handed to you.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask unanimous
Chair
consent.
now recognizes Ms.
Mr.
Wasserman's
Chairman,
faults for her 5
I have a
minutes.
unanimous consent request, Mr. Chairman.
And in this exact same hearing where they're trying to get Trump, this lady was on the phone with Jeffrey Epstein. It is now confirmed. It's trying to get Jeffrey Epstein to say one bad thing about Trump so she would have the right question to play gotcha with. Yep, folks. It is bad news for this lady here. She is another one of the Democrats that is implicated in the whole Epstein hoax. The Democrats were texting back and forth during the Jeffrey Epstein trial. They were texting back and forth during the whole trial to try to get Trump. It's bad, folks. I'm glad to see this is finally coming out. The information needs to come out. There's so many people that should be implicated, incarcerated, and never let out of prison for their role in this. If you are part of the crew that wanted to work with Jeffrey Epstein just to get Trump, that's bad news. Willing to work with a pedo in order to try to get your enemy. Absolutely colluding. I don't know what else you would call it at this point, folks. Here's a short video clip, but this is from the Washington Post, and it is basically a tell-all. Newly released documents reviewed by Washington Post appear to indicate during the 2019 hearing where Michael Cohen was speaking, the Post revealed that multiple video feeds of... Let me back that up. It took off on me. Newly released documents reviewed by the Washington Post appeared to indicate that during the 2019 hearing where Michael Cohen testified, Jeffrey Epstein was texting with Delegate Stacey Plaskett, Democrat, of course. Crazy. Texting each other. The Post reviewed multiple video feeds showing the hearing and matching the text, which were sent to the Pacific Times.
Was President of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign or were involved in the campaign as a representative?
They got her, folks. Busted. Texting, trying to get Trump with Epstein. Now, was a whole lot of these other Democrats doing the same? The Jamie Raskins, the Eric Swallwells, the Adam Schiffs? Of course they were. This is just the beginning, folks. This is another blooming onion investigation that has just got the first layer peeled back, and we're already starting to see that the Democrats were willing to do whatever it took, I'm sure including pardoning Jeffrey Epstein, if they could just stop Trump from being president again. That was the name of the game, folks, and it is a sad state of affairs that these people were willing to work with a pedophile to get their political enemy. That's just sickening to me on every level. But it does go back to one root statistic that I was hearing about the other day. 97% of Republicans believe in God. Less than 50%. More than 50% of Democrats are atheists. That probably, it causes a huge understanding for some people. It does for me, as to how our country got in such bad shape. We're dealing with a bunch of people that have no love for God or this country, and they've mostly probably put money and power before all else. Now, I got this video just spooling away. I don't know what is going on with the internet today. It is crawling for sure around my house. But we're going to get it done, folks. I've got lots and lots of video clips here for you today. Just crazy stuff going on. Ultimate Backfire. All right. Feels like a live video. I got downtime. Waiting on these spooling videos. I guess I'm going to have to buy me some quicker internet, folks. Somebody got any suggestions on a better internet plan? I'm using Spectrum, and it is cheap enough, but it is too dang slow. Now this here is Scott Jennings. He just basically blows the door off the entire CNN chat panel. Now this here is as good as it gets.
Connection to Epstein, as shown in those emails, according to Epstein, is unsavory, and it's not good.
Is that new information that he knew Jeffrey Epstein? Is it new information that Trump excommunicated him from Mar-a-Lago? Is it the only new information that we got this week off those emails was that somebody from the New York Times was advising Jeffrey Epstein, and we learned tonight from the Washington Post that Jeffrey Epstein was programming Democratic members of Congress. We didn't learn anything we didn't already know about Donald Trump, which was Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump, and now Democrats are aligning themselves with Jeffrey Epstein because Orange Man bad.
Did you read those 3 emails? They are really bad looking. They are optics are terrible. Oh my God. Okay, they're putting Trump with one connection to Epstein, as shown in those emails.
They were bad-looking emails. What does that mean? Just bad-looking. All right, I don't guess that one's going to play. We're going to go on to the next one, folks. I don't know why, but that one particular video clip is having a spooling issue. We're going to make it work, though. Like I said, folks, I'll be doing a live here about 2 or 3 o'clock. I'll be out feeding the homeless as usual. Every Sunday or every Saturday, I get out and just make a showing of it. Try to bless some people. Gonna give away some socks as well. They're getting a little closer to Christmas time. It's getting a little cooler out, and I figured socks would be a good addition to the blessing bags today. So we got it like that today. So we're gonna do it like that. Now, Jamie Raskin, his ass is on the hot seat too. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. It's been revealed that Democrat Representative Jamie Raskin was involved in a plot where prison staffers stole Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney-client emails and funneled them to him, which then he leaked to the media in an attempt to smear President Trump. So let me get this straight. What was happening was the prison guards were getting access to Ghislaine Maxwell's correspondence, because that's part of the program of being in jail. You got to be able to have the warden, and I'm guessing the jailers have access to the same correspondence you're getting. That way nobody's plotting anything. And so I'm sure it was probably pretty easy to access once you worked inside the jails, or maybe even only a few people had access to it. But now we're finding out that this information was most likely bought from one of these jailers, or a couple of these jailers, and they have now subsequently are under investigation and have been fired. And now Jamie Raskin is pleading the fifth on this whole deal. He knows nothing. But guess what? He's busted anyway. He is another one that is on the hot seat. There's an open investigation being started. He is going to get a DOJ criminal referral before this is all said and done. I believe we will have a lot of senators and congressmen that will be implicated, if not incarcerated, before this is all said and done. Now, it was very weird how Jamie Raskin responded to these allegations. Says, this was very strange to me that there's employees who had been fired because of what they had done. I'm curious as how they would know that. Same way you knew it. Obviously, somebody told off on somebody. We're not saying where we got any information that we received, and it may not even be from the people that she was talking about. Really, Jamie? So we now have people arrested behind this this obviously criminal enterprise to try to get Trump, including involving jailers. And so if the jailers got fired for their role, what's Jamie Raskin going to get for his role? That's the $1 million question. Let's do his response to this whole suggestion.
All they're saying is that somehow they know, and this is very strange to me, that there are employees who've been fired because of what they've done. I'm curious how they would know that. That sounds like a breach of whatever those the employees' personnel records are. But in any event, this is her claim that these people were fired because of what they did. The allegation seems to be that her attorney-client privilege was somehow compromised in the TrueLink system. When the inmates log on in the system, they have to click a whole statement that they consent to this being reviewed by the prison, and there's a statement that there is no attorney-client privilege or confidentiality that attaches to them. So we're, of course, not saying where we got any information that we received, and it may not even be from the people that she's talking about, but in any event, she's completely wrong on that. All they're saying is...
Well, he squirreled around that one all the way around. You see what he did there, don't you, folks? Well, it may not even been the same people that we were talking to. Yes, people have been fired, and I guarantee there is an open investigation that will be discussed later, probably with a subpoena from the DOJ to Mr. Raskin, because we now know this absolutely happened. He's trying to walk it back, walk around it, tiptoe around it, call it something it's not. Well, we're not even sure it's the same people. Come on, man. You got busted. These Democrats thought they were going to get away with murder, and because they thought that, they did nothing to try to protect themselves when it comes to covering up evidence. They weren't worried about any accountability. Speaking about accountability, let's talk a little bit about some clowns involved in mortgage fraud schemes. I'm not talking about Adam Schiff today. I'm talking about Letitia James and Eric Swallwell. They both are just a couple of many incarcerations, indictments, subpoenas to come, because I have a feeling a lot of these folks in Washington have 2, 3, 4, 5 houses, and they probably claim primary residence at every one to get the tax break. That's just my guess. So, mortgage loophole. It says, breaking, Letitia James, New York Attorney General Letitia James is under fire as T&E driving school in Queens busted in massive DMV bribery scam. Owners and examiners indicted and fast-tracking licenses to illegals with 0 tests. And does this include CDLs? Because now we know for a fact that California and a couple other states have been giving out CDLs like candy to anybody named Habib who doesn't have any ability to speak English, and it definitely doesn't have any immigration papers. Well, we now have a 139 count indictment unsealed, and what are they saying? More arrests are coming. Check it out, folks. This is a mess. So Letitia James has got mortgage fraud problems, and looks like she's going to have money on her problem.
People of New York is that unfortunately too many people have gotten driver's licenses because of corruption, because of greed, because of theft, because of thievery.
You know what this is all about? Giving them driver's license so they can get jobs, so they can get Social Security cards, so they can get the access to prove they're a citizen so they can vote. That was the name of the game, folks. They've probably done this in every state that let them do it.
We are announcing arrests today of individuals who are taken into custody. There are multiple New York State, many of them some are New York State motor vehicle examiners who brazenly betrayed their oaths of office by accepting cash in exchange for falsifying the results of countless road examinations, or in many cases allowing individuals to bypass the testing process altogether.
Didn't even have to take the test. That's what they're doing for. That was the gimme for the illegals. I'm sure average citizens had to take the test. The illegals, they did all that stuff probably via computer.
The result of a long-term investigation spearheaded by my office and the New York State Inspector General with the assistance of the New York City Police Department and those who are here with us and you will hear from today. Investigators uncovered a corrupt network involving not only government employees, but also individuals at a driving school, imposters who took tests on behalf of unqualified applicants, and the applicants themselves, who paid to illegally obtain driver's licenses. In some cases, even the prerequisite learner's permit was fraudulently obtained.
So you had somebody taking the test for you online so you could pass it, probably for CDL and driver's license, and it was all about getting these people looking as legal as possible so they could get all the benefits of living in this country, including the right to vote. Dirty dogs. Dang. We're finding out every day just how bad the corruption was. For 4 years, they went hog wild on destroying our country through every policy change they could, through all these sneaky tactics at the DMV, more than you can imagine. We're probably going to continue for the next 3.5 years to find out this stuff. Every day we're going to find out more and more this is happening. And when you find out it happened in one state, you're probably going to find out if it's a Democrat-run state, the next state over Democrat-run probably done the same program. It's probably put out on memos. Here's a good way to get illegals with IDs. Here's a good way to give illegals jobs. Here's a good way to get illegals on Social Security. Here's a good way to make illegals look vote-worthy. Let's go ahead and get on to another backfire from another criminal. Well, we all know this guy, I call him Fat Bastard, is otherwise known as J.B. Pritzker. He is the governor of Illinois, and he's a billionaire, and he's into all these money laundering schemes. There's been several accusations against him. Haven't really been able to pin too much of it down at this point, but we know the guy hates Trump, loves open borders, and just acts like a left-wing Democrat politician from toe to heel. And it's really sad to see why he is so far left. Well, here's the answer. Pritzker's family oversees 64 non-governmental organizations siphoning money off millions and millions of taxpayer funds. So J.B. Pritzker is a billionaire who's running the state of Illinois, who is also, him and his entire family, it looks like, is connected to 60-plus NGOs that I guarantee you are all making money hand over fist in the immigration business, in the let them in the country business, in the cater to them business, in the get them looking legal business, like Catholic Charities for one. And this here is just a list of all the different charities that non-governmental organizations that they are obviously a part of. $824, $424, $282,000. Jesus. And the money goes on and on and on. Well, it looks like they may be able to implicate J.B. Pritzker on some fraud scheme. It does look like a lot of these left-wing Democrat mayors and governors have been robbing the cookie jar, have been fleecing the till, and it's finally starting to show up. It just looking into their financial records, this information's coming out. I think the FBI and the DOJ are probably overwhelmed at this point because they've never had so many cases to investigate at one time, with so many of the same people involved in some of the same cases. I'm sure that's the big cluster F of the whole deal. But hopefully they'll get them all on seditious conspiracy, because a lot of them have been working against our country and against Trump for 10 plus years. And we've got all the proof to show it. Now let's talk about another mortgage fraud swindler. This is a very sweaty clip from Eric Swallwell demanding that Cash Patel promised that he won't prosecute him or any of his friends. Can you believe that? Now that we know that you're guilty of mortgage fraud, Bang Bang Swallwell, you're now begging Cash Patel for what? Immunity? Leniency?
We'll make sure.
Thank you. Okay, my question is, will you, Director, recuse yourself, yes or no, from investigating or making decisions about the 60 individuals, including myself, that you identified as government gangsters? Yes or no?
Time of the gentleman has expired. The witness may respond if he would like.
And the answer was no, as I heard.
Of course not.
Okay. The gentleman from Wisconsin, the gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Wisconsin is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Director Patel, for being here today.
Seems like Eric Swalwell's a little bit nervous. He's worried about being investigated, him and his 60 friends. And sure enough, not even, months later, we find out he is guilty, or allegedly guilty, of mortgage fraud, at the least. No telling what he's really into. We know he likes to fart in public and sleep with Chinese spies. There could be an espionage charge given to him over that one. Can't believe they let him continue to be on special committees in Congress after they found out he was divulging pillow talk with Fang Bang, who was definitely connected to the Chinese Communist Party. Now, the Democrats, I believe they know at this point, they're still fighting back, but I believe they know that even with all of their attempts to get celebrities in the media and all this Trump derangement syndrome amplified and all this foreign money coming in from like the George Soros types to try to beef up the Democrat Party, they know they still got a messaging problem, and it's called policy. They can't talk policy. They can't argue policy because most Americans don't support the Democrat agenda. It is like an 80-20 issue for 90%, for all of America that actually pays attention to what's going on in politics. The rest of the people don't count because they don't care. That's in theory. Listen to this.
We
Smells like fear.
need our electorate behind us, all parts of our electorate. We need the media, and we rarely have the media. So how this story gets told is going to be a really important piece right now. They're going to have to go up against all of Trump's media apparatus, right? Social media owned by his cronies, legacy media that always has a little bit of a skew bias towards both sidesism. Both sidesism always benefits Republicans. So if by 2 years...
How does legacy media, both sidesism, benefit Trump again? Somebody please explain that to me, because I have yet to see the mainstream media do anything more than just walk back a few lies. That's it. That's as close as they get to being honest.
The story isn't still Democrats caved, Schumer caved both on the one big beautiful bill and caved on a 40-day shutdown, then that's going to be a really hard thing to navigate. We need our electorate behind us.
Yeah, y'all look stupid for shutting down the government, and you didn't get nothing for your 40-something day shutdown other than to make people miserable. And now it's obvious to anybody that's paying attention, it's all y'all's fault. And so they got to get their messaging right. These fools don't realize that they've lost the messaging war already. They may have the mainstream media on their side, but they've lost the messaging war because they've lost common sense. Now, I got many of my listeners on my channel that are a little bit like me, a little bit discouraged by the fact that we haven't seen anybody go to prison yet for their obvious traitorous, treasonous crimes against America and humanity, including Dr. Fauci. On top of the list, as far as I'm concerned, people that need to go to jail for getting rich off the lies of scaring people into taking the jab and everything else involved. But last but not least, we really, really, really need to fix the elections. Start holding people accountable that stole previous elections. That way they will never consider it again. But also to encourage Republicans and Americans that don't consider themselves Republicans or Democrats, to encourage them to vote. We need to see some accountability. We need to have some trust in the system. I'm talking about the FBI, the DOJ. We know they've done some crooked stuff throughout their history, probably since their inception. And they need to actually not just be the bad guys. We need them to do their job of locking up the people that used to run those places. The people that have been wielding power and manipulating the weaponization of government to the point that it has gotten so far out of control that it's about destroyed our country. Well, last clip of the day, Mike Davis was on Maria Bartiromo, and Maria Bartiromo asked him, well, who all do you think's going to go to jail? He's like, it's a big list. Well, they went to break and never come back and actually got the list out. So some people were complaining to Maria Bartiromo over here on X about, well, how come you didn't let him tell a list of people that are going to go to jail? Well, minutes later, Mike Davis responds over here on Twitter. We got a list. It's Obama, Biden, Hillary, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, Andrew Weissman, Jay Bratt, Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, Big Tish James, Big Fannie Willis, Nathan Wade, Chris Mays, and so many more. Lawyer up, MFers. Lawyer up, Democrats. And that's just part of that's the weaponization part right there. And all these people, every single one of these people, worked to weaponize the government against Trump with the lawfare. And we ain't having it no more. But it is going to backfire, and it's going to be your turn to be sitting in court trying to explain yourself as to why you lied, how you're going to be able to try to cover that crap up before a grand jury of your peers gets to throw the book at you. And I hope each and every one of these people get arraigned in the Southern District of New York will actually get a fair jury pool. That's what I got for you today, folks. Like I said, doing a live here directly. If you can get up and get started bagging these groceries, come join us if you will. Over and out.